Okay, we are live. Hi, hello, and welcome everyone. Thanks for joining on a Saturday morning. We realize it's a bit early to a lot of people. And also, I thank Jug Hyderabad and Jug Bangalore and EPAM
Okay, we are
India.
live. Hi, hello, and welcome everyone. Thanks for joining on a Saturday morning. We realize it's a bit early to a lot of people. And also, I thank Jug Hyderabad and Jug Bangalore and EPAM. Okay, we are live. Hi, hello, and welcome everyone. Thanks for joining on a Saturday.
So yeah, there is a bit of echo. So if you could like close your YouTube windows, organizers, it would be great. Satish and Surajit. So so what I would like to do is, I mean, I'll give the stage to you so that like you introduce the community and talk about the jug, etc., and then like we can get going. Yeah, over to you, Surajit and Satish.
Thank you, Arvind. Good morning, everyone. Glad to have you all with us. Today is a very special day. Java has completed 25 years, and it's also the perfect day to have our very first online workshop. And it's a pleasure to have Arvind. Arvind is a developer advocate at Elastic, and he looks after the developer relations of India. Today, he'll be sharing with us his expert knowledge on Elastic APM and Kubernetes. So yeah, I won't take much of his time, and without further ado, we can get started. Over to you, Arvind.
Yeah, thank you, Satish and Surajit, and everyone who has made this happen, because we were discussing this for quite a while. So okay, quickly getting into the topic, I would want you to like head over to the links that I post here and create some things that are much needed. So first thing, very much. So I would like you to open all of this. The like the link that is shown here. This is a guide, and then which talks about the entire workshop today and what we are gonna do and like the completion. So don't worry, the environment that we have today is like kind of it's kind of like available throughout the day for you until like 10 o'clock or something. You can practice it, you can do whatever you want, don't worry about it. But make sure that you go to this link guide and complete it. My Twitter DMs are enabled, by so you could also contact me there, and the meetup page is open, you can do it. So do it at your self-paced manner. What I will be doing is go through this one by one. Meanwhile, if you can do it with me, you can do it. If you have any questions, please post in the comments. Okay, so I have never done a workshop online. So this is for the first time that I'm doing. I'm trying to make sure that it is convenient for all of us to do something similar. If there is any hiccups or some sort of internet issues or something, feel free. I mean, like as I said, the environment will be there and the guide is already there, self-explanatory. I'll come back as soon as possible, but other than that, I mean, sorry and apologies for that as well in ahead of the time. Now quickly getting to the point. So this is a guide. The link shown below here is a guide through which we'll be running through. And what we'll be doing specifically is like today is like going through the APM UI, the concepts and a bit of stuff. And all of that I speak here today is like completely free, and you can go and like keep the environment and run it forever. I mean, like run it for like say 30 days or something. I believe generally it is 15 days. So that is there. And then the demo environment through which you will be sending the data is here. So all of these links are already updated in the description, YouTube description. So for example, the demo environment to the the entire environment to start your application, etc., is here down. So make sure that you go to that. If you see start event, I mean the event hasn't been started, I'm going to start it now. Start event. Okay, so this is like a workshop environment that we do. It's nothing but a Linux box, and I have some prescripts already present and code checked out automatically. So what I'll be doing is like simply running a Linux box inside. You could do this on your Linux box, etc., as well. But I think some of you might have say a Windows environment. Some of you might have some trouble running something, so I'm trying to take it entirely to the cloud. And again, if there are any problems, let me know in the comments. I'll try to make things better. So let us make it quite informal, so that it becomes a easy experience for all of us to get started. Great. So first up, so I said, like, you can open a tab for this guide, and you can also open an environment. And don't worry about the terminal and etc etc. Like, it allows you to do Control C Control V copy paste, and it also allow you to open multiple tabs inside this terminal. So don't worry about it. And after the session also, this will be there. Like, after 12 o'clock today, this will be running throughout, and you can do further experimentation as well. The tab that you should be definitely looking at is like this one, My Lab. So this is the tab that you should look. Remaining and all are the different tabs, and that you might not need it. So please do that for me. And then, yeah, that's it. And if you have kick started, and if you can give me, like, heads up that if you have started it, so I'm happy to like kickstart things. Any questions till now? Any comments that you want to share? So feel free to like kind of like write anything in the comments and like ask questions. I know it's really difficult times, and we usually I do it very physical, or these meetups like an event there, but then now things are really different, so I'm really sorry. So the same thing, the same URL is updated in the description as well. So let me get started with this one. Okay, great. So now that I have the terminal configured, I'll go through the guide one by one, and then we'll go and see. So basically, APM is application performance monitoring and management solution. So if you go to, where do you find APM, is simple, like elastic.co/APM, and you go this particular page. So it talks about open source application and performance monitoring solution. There are a bunch of things that are there here. Like, you can do different things. There are many ways that you can run the software. Easiest way is to run on the cloud. I have put that link as well. But then like, if you're looking for docs, so if you go to the docs, elastic.co/docs, you have APM. Okay, sorry, it's APM. I should, okay, here should come up. Okay, here it is. I'm sorry, application performance monitoring. So there are a bunch of things here, and how APM works and stuff like that, which gives you a good overview about things. This is a very extensive documentation. What we are going to look at is like a subset of that, not completely to make you successful. But at the same point of time, it is not something like, you will be able to like really customize your environment, do everything just by doing this session. I should be really frank. So you will understand, you'll be able to get confidence that I could do these things. And if you have any questions, I can also help do that. So this is like a brief walkthrough of everything. So in the APM, the overview and all of this stuff, there are a bunch of concepts here that I would like you to be aware of. So in this particular APM solution, you have a application agent library. So these are packages. These are small solutions which can be like bootstrapped and kind of in your application, with or without writing code. And then it will ship out data to your APM server, then Elasticsearch, then Kibana UI. So what we're going to do today is the same thing. We have a microservice based application in one lab, which has multiple different languages. We have one Java application which we will deploy on Kubernetes, and then we'll see and instrument the data. For that, we need to have this environment first, this particular environment, and then like to take in the data that we are shipping from the application. So the applications are here in this terminal. So if I see ls, and you will see one application already, one source code. The code for this app is already there on the GitHub. I'll post that link in the YouTube later. It is there on github.com/elastic/spring-clinic. it's a fork from Spring Pet Cleaning Rust app that is available. So you can also go and look at the code. It is having multiple microservices actually. Now, that being said, what you will build, I also told, like you will instrument a microservice application, instrumenting a Java application deployed in Kubernetes and a recent version. What you need is like a Chrome browser to do all of this actually. Going to the next one. So this is very important. So you need to have a cluster of doing all of this. So if you click on this, you will get a special trial, a community trial. I have named this project as DevDish. So funny name. So I already have an account. If you don't have, please quickly create it, and we'll quickly go to the Cloud Console. So I already have few clusters, but I'll create a new cluster for this entire thing so that we can get started. I hope none of you are facing any problem. If you face any problem, please let us know in the comments. Great. So this is the cloud environment. You and with the trial and all, you don't need to put any credit card or something. So what I'll do is like I'll put Jug APM so as my deployment name. In the interest of like the reaching out the region near and all, I have this. I'll choose GCP and Asia South, but you can use any other service as well. Don't limit yourself to Mumbai or something. Spread it out to area. It offers a decent ping value. And then you have the Elastic Stack version. I chose this one. And then you could choose one of the architecture, preferably hotworm architecture, because you're ingesting time series data. There are a bunch of these are called deployment templates. Each offer a different hardware configuration. Like one is some sort of a each gives you a different sort of a VM profile. The VMs have some specific templates. Like some are very good for computing. Some are very good for storage. Some are very good for some sort of ML related workloads. So today we will look more into the the time series, and because the data will be more, which I suppose all of your apps will have. So we'll go and look into this particular hotworm architecture. So it's simple. It also comes up with some sort of nodes, which has SSD backed nodes, and it also has some sort of a storage backed nodes, etc. So like quickly creating a deployment. I should have done this while we are talking. So basically it will show you a username password. So the same thing has been there. So just diligently follow the same thing so that we end up about the same, the same stuff, so that there is no surprises. So I'll choose to download this username password credentials. Now just copy, and then like once the Kibana is ready, I'll click on launch. So meanwhile, we'll go and do some reading as well about like this entire thing. So now once we create the cluster, you will get these Elasticsearch, Kibana, and APM endpoints. I'll also talk about what is this cloud ID, secret token, etc. These are like security related things where you can put in your agent, and the agent will automatically start shipping the data. So make sure that you join this, the link for the demo environment. And another thing is your, the cluster. The cluster can be created here. So please use this to create the cluster. And yeah, so the app that we will be instrumenting today is a microservice app. I believe that I'm not going really fast. So if you feel that I'm going really fast, feel free to stop me in between and type in your comments so that I'll take a look at that. So the app that we are going to instrument today is a app that has multiple services which are implemented in different languages. So for example, here if you see that I have a Node.js frontend Node.js server with a React frontend, and then I have a Java application doing something. We'll talk about that. And then I have a DB which is HSQLDB, which I think Spring comes up that automatically. You could also replace it with MySQL or a PostgreSQL driver, which is given in the documentation of the open source app. Then you have Python for doing something special, and then the data goes to the Elasticsearch, because a Python app talks to Elasticsearch for a specific reason, because Elasticsearch is not just for APM or observability, it's also for search, it's also for security. So the data is stored in for some search bar here inside the application, and then you stream all the data to your APM server, and then like the Kibana. So don't worry that your data is not unsecure. Your data is secure. It's HTTPS. It's all protected. So even though it shows like an internet, don't worry, it's all protected. So you could also do something like we support open tracing. There are several other tracing standards which does this tracing. So we also support open tracing. We also support Jaeger traces in your Kubernetes. So all of that. So it comes naturally integrated. All you need to point out is like point out those agents to APM server, and we automatically like ingest all of that. There is a reason why you need to do this, or why you should feel that is useful in doing this thing is what the stack offers you is what we are trying to build is like to build a cross service correlatable observability platform, a platform that can be correlatable from the logs, metrics, and application traces point of view. So we are today only going to look at the APM part. I thought of covering the uptime part as well, service level availability, wherein some doing something like uh, like monitoring a specific service endpoint like a REST API. But I think we'll not have enough time to do all of that. So I kept it for a side. I will also follow up this with a bunch of other tutorials, etc., so that like we can get started. Now, there's a question from Uday saying that while doing the deployment, do I need to install any agent or client? No, you don't need to install any agent or client. So I just need to be like this. I believe it's already. I have copied the username. I have downloaded. Make sure that you download the username password. Launch Kibana. Obviously, Kibana will be launched. Meanwhile, I'll try to open this up in a different folder. Okay. Great. Okay. So nothing to worry here. Great. So you have a username password. So I just type Elastic and this thing. So there are a bunch of improvements that are coming from the Kibana point of view, from the point of how you manage data in Elasticsearch, and how you look at various things like, I mean, the left pane, the menu items and all, making it simpler. So don't worry about it. I mean, there are a lot of things that are going to come. So this is the UI that you need to see. I hope everyone is like getting to start. So don't worry. So even if I'm going a bit fast, I see Gagan saying that I'm really going a bit fast. Feel free to do it. I'll go on a pace that is okay to see, because if I hit up anything before you, say something like a problem, I'll try to find out that and like fix that. But meanwhile, feel free to read the matter in the document and go through the stuff one by one. If you have any question, if you see a command is throwing up an issue, let me know in the comments. Okay. Alternatively, like you could also follow me, and like I said, the environment will be there for the entire day, and the cluster will be there for the 30 days. So don't worry about it. Now I'll open this one. Great. So I think I have this particular lab, and I have this application already checked out. So I also have this code running someplace. So if you know Cloud Thea, there's a Thea is an IDE. It's an open source IDE based on a VS Code fork. Runs in all the popular clouds. I think in Google Cloud, you see this sort of editor here. And more interestingly, this sort of a thing is becoming very common nowadays, wherein you GitHub has launched a feature called code spaces through which you can compile the code and run your whatsoever branch and stuff like that from the code repo itself. How cool it is, right? I mean, no hazards of what thinking about the environment. We can do all sorts of workshops very easily. You don't need this environment that I'm showing right now. Any questions till now before I head on to the next one? Links are updated. The environment to run this thing is all updated. So if you have any questions, you need links, you need anything, let me know. Okay. So if you have anything, just let me know. I'll take it slow. So now that we have a cluster already running, I have this menu. I'll just briefly explain that to you. Okay, this is a console, the dev console, through which you'll be able to like run the APIs here. So I'll just see whether if we have any existing data that's already there. Let's say you don't need to do this, just to take a look at whether things are good or not. I'll just say indices, and so all the ones that with dot are the system indices. The ones which are with this is like the APM indices. Don't worry. So I see 202 success, 202 milliseconds is a time lapse. Okay, and then like I think it was something. Okay, this is something new actually that we have done. So if you want to watch some things and like learn new stuff, so we have launched a feed here in the Kibana so that you can go and look at that. Now APM is the app that we'll be working most of the time. I think there will be no data right now, so I'll not go there. But then there are several other things that you can look at it. So don't worry about all of this. Elastic ecosystem is an ocean. So anything that we go and dig, it will take 10-20 minutes. That's all the reason. So thanks for telling it. Probably if it is not visible, I hope this is good, right? I hope this is good. Sorry, I have a big screen. Maybe it's very small. Great. Anything else? Manas has asked what is the name of the product that GitHub has launched. It's called Code Spaces. You should go and look at it. Code Spaces. Great. So now that we are done here, I have everything ready. Keep this page open. The deployment activity page should be like, it can be like this. Now that you have downloaded the username, if you haven't, right? If you haven't, or you have forgotten, like, okay, the password is there, just click on the security and you can reset the password. Once you come out of any screen, the password will not be shown again. It will be only shown once. It will not be showing again and again. I'll click on the Jug APM. The details are here. Okay, all of this has come up. Now then, we'll quickly go into the session. So I also have the pet clinic app that is like cloned to this particular place. I'm in this PWD home Ubuntu. What are the commands that I need to execute? Okay, I missed a step. Great. So while we were speaking about the cloud ID, so I have this, I have a small ID running here. So just copy this public IP here. How did I do this? I click on the settings bar, machine info, copy the public IP, open a new tab, and type in 3022. I'm sorry for being it really small. It's like it's also there in the documentation here in the link. So you could also do that. So navigating to DevTools is very easy. Like just click on the console. Like on the left side, you have this, DevTools. On the left side, you have this bar. It's called DevTools, right? So yeah, coming back to the topic, I have a VS Code-ish experience here. Just see that the code is open here. It's a Docker container. You could also do this. It's open source project. I have some folders and stuff like that. This is just what is there here. So if you see here, if I do ls, I have a Spring Pet Clinic app. If I go to do cd Spring Pet Clinic, you will see the same thing. Okay. So, but before that, we just need to follow this doc. So even though you follow me, just keep pace on this doc. So this is doc is like our North Star. We need to follow this as well. So I just need to like be sudo, because that helps kind of like doing several operations. I think in the later lab, we will go through the Kubernetes. We need to install like mini kube cluster. So that is much needed. So I've become root. So, but that means that my path also will change. So I will simply move to Spring. Okay, sorry. Home Ubuntu Spring Pet Clinic. So now I'm back at the same place. And yeah, so there are some things that we need to run. So how do you make that the app send the data to the the entire the Elasticsearch and stuff like that? So you need to set some URLs to stuff like that, right? So how do you do that? So what we'll do is here is like set an environment variable for all of this. So in my code, in the source, so we are seeing multiple applications here. Like there is a front end application wherein in that you have a client which is a React based client, which is a server, which is a let me do this. Okay, great. So what is a token for the workshop environment? Good question. Just let me do that. So yeah, this is a token. Just go. So in the front end, we have a client which is a React client. We have a server which is a Node.js server. So this is a front end project, and in the Python project, we have address resolver, which is a Python project doing something. We'll talk about that. All of these applications can also be Dockerized. But it's a microservice application, multiple Dockers, multiple things. So I don't want to make it more complex, and I want to make it simple. So that's why we're not doing Docker on this application. We'll do Docker on another application, like Kubernetes on another application. I also have, obviously a Java application written in Spring. I have Java code here. Say all of that regular, usual Spring stuff. Resources, application properties, logging, everything present here. Nothing special there. Okay. So, and then I have a pom.xml and a Maven thing. So I just need to run the Maven wrapper to get the Spring Boot application up and running. So that you understand that there are multiple modules and multiple applications. All of these need to be started for the whole and sole application to run, right? So how do we do that? So we need to kickstart each service, right? So we will go and look at that. Okay, I'll zoom the Linux box as well. I'm not sure how this works because I've never done that. It works. I hope this is clear. Great. So is there a terminal setting that I could configure? No, I can't. Okay, so let me be like this. So I have this particular thing. Now, before going into before starting all of these applications, I definitely need to set some environment variable so that the data is being sent. You can also start without it. It will not send the data. So if I start MENW Spring Boot Spring Boot run, it will start the Java application. I'll go to the Python application. I'll do 4 terminals and open do that. But before that, we need to like set some environment variables to send the data. So don't think that I'm not letting you to like put this agent and do this stuff for you. I'm trying to make it easy, and the code is available so that you can also drill down and see the code and understand what we have done. I'll also speak specifically about the Java application. So you don't need to worry. So all of these are small packages. Like say for Java, it's a jar. For Python, it's a package. For Node.js, it's a package. For something else, it's a module. Like for the Golang based application. So it's all different for different stuff. Okay. Now let me go back to the editor. So remember, the editor is accessible on your public IP :port. So I'm not dwelling more into this talk. So if you have any questions, you can go through this talk. the doc is very self-explanatory, step by step. Okay, so don't worry about it. So if you miss me, refer the doc. If you still miss me, you ask on the YouTube. If you are not able to do it, my Twitter DMs are open. You can contact me on Twitter. The environment is Dave all the day for Dave. I'll keep repeating this because like people might feel useful to like do all that. Great. So the thing here is like we'll quickly get to the bin and set APM env.sh, and then there are some environment URLs that we need to set. So we know what this is, like APM server URL. I have this copy endpoint, paste it here. Similarly have, okay, I'll close this one. Great. We have the secret token, and the secret token can be availed here. If you click on the APM part here, you will see the secret token. Copy it, and then secret token, Elasticsearch URL, copy endpoint, and then Elasticsearch password, which you forgot. So I'll open that here somewhere. So the credentials are up and easy to access. So that is something that we need to open and see that. Okay, I got the credentials. Control C. If you forget the credentials or if you don't download, just remember, go to the security, reset it, and do that. That's it. The file is auto saved, so that we no need to save that file. So don't worry about it. Now that all of this is done, this can be like this. We'll go back to the Strigo environment, the lab, and then we'll quickly kind of like start the Java app. Now that we have set the environment variable, say Elasticsearch URL. Now if I do echo, it should come up ideally, right? But it might not. So if I see echo $, do this, it will not come up because the environment has not been bootstrapped. So generally what you do for this sort of situations is like source, okay, bin, okay, now you do this, and then the Elasticsearch URL here. So the environment is set up. So when we start the app, the data will be sent back to it. Now, what I want to do is like, we have 4 different services running: a Java application, a Python application, a Node.js server, and a React-based front end. Right. So what we'll do is like, and all of them have been bootstrapped with these agents. How? We'll see the Java part. When we come to the Java part, we'll show you it's through Java agent command. There are a bunch of ways. There are 3 ways. One is experimental, and like we'll see 2 of them today actually. So we'll open 2 more. I'm trying to go very slow, but if some of you who got like, say if you are bored and like if you want to go ahead, just follow the doc, go fast. So you can do that. Now I have this thing, but I also have different things for different applications. One thing that we might forget is to do sudo -i and then cd into home, Ubuntu, Spring, Pet Clinic. Now that we are here, again, this environment is free. So that means you will not be able to do Elasticsearch _URL. So you need to reset for this terminal, right? So that's all given here. So you need to run all these commands in these 4 places. So cd address resolver src is the place where the Python application runs. So I'm gonna, okay, I'm sorry. I think I need to run this. I told you and I forgot. So source bin. Okay, cool. The environment has been set up. Now I can simply run cd address resolver src and be in this place. this is configured. Now every place that I need to do is like sudo -i and then cd ubuntu, sorry, Spring Pet Clinic, and then I need to do source in/env clear, all set here again. I hope it will be run. So let us make sure that we run the right stuff so that there are no problems with respect to. Any questions? So please make sure that if you want to ask any questions, like let me know in the comments. So we'll do that. Okay, I copied half of it. Echo here. So it's all set up. Same drill here. Sudo -i, then cd home. Okay, I think I can do this one so that you can see my screen much better. Yeah, great. I hope you. I hope I'm audible. See Ubuntu, and then we have Spring Pet Clinic. Sorry. CD. So before we go into this thing, source in env. So this is just a luxury. Like we're trying to do this very easily. I mean, like rather than like trying to do more work around it, like configuring each URL in this application. So trying to make it very easy. So just keep that in mind. Otherwise, you can run only one application and see the Java app on that actually. Great. Now that we are ready, so let also node. No, what is this? I forgot the server URL. Okay, front end server and client. So I haven't cd'd here. Cd front end server. Obviously, you start the server first, and then cd front end. You start the client. Okay. So now that we are in this particular place, we haven't done anything. Now let's come back and do one by one of this. I hope you all have got the demo environment and the cluster links. So I'm gonna turn off this, the thing for the better visibility. So if you have anything, let me know. Any questions or any links that you want, let me know. Great. Okay. So now I have this environment configured. Now I just say mvnw spring boot. I'll quickly click on the mvnw and I hope it should run. So it is trying to get all the packages. So I'll wait for it. So don't worry about starting this starting the second application. I don't think that the Java app, the second thing should give us more problem, but I'm really looking forward to it because all things should start. Okay. Okay. This is there. This has started on 8080 port. Bash. Now come back. Okay. This is the tricky part. So why do we use a Python application here, and what is the usage of it? So in the application, there is a data. There's a bit of data, and then the data is we are offering a search bar to search on top of it, and the data is indexed to Elasticsearch as well. So the application data is also going in the search data is also going to the same cluster. What I would recommend not to do in your production environment to do this. Don't keep your search engine and your time series data in one place. It is not recommended. It is recommended to have separate clusters. How much does it take to build a search cluster? Maybe 2 or 3 nodes, and then but your infrastructure monitoring or your APM traces cluster will be so large because you'll be shipping 20 to 30 GB of data into your cluster. So don't do that. So that's not recommended. Okay, any questions? Okay, great. Thank you for following. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me and use the environment. Now that I have this, I even don't have the commands here. So I need to just do this. So let us install this stuff. So I'm using Python 3 here, thinking that the all the Python 2 is deprecated and it's no more there. I am not exactly sure that whether some commands would work, because I made some changes yesterday. So let me see if I could. Oh, I have this. Okay. Oh, cool. It's there. Keep doing this clear thing. So this is the one that will load a sample CSV data to the Elasticsearch. So we are indexing the data previously before even like we're just putting the data into Elasticsearch for the search related stuff. Oh, what did I do? Okay, let me do Control C. Okay, it throws me error. I think I need to give pass on a file parameter. Let me see if I could do that. So there is a sample file, sample.csv file. So sample.csv. Okay, a bunch of errors. Okay, what we need to do is I'll just see if it is properly available on this particular directory that I have. Okay, I have a parallel command copied here. So this is there in a directory beside this particular thing. So hopefully it should get indexed. Okay, the data got indexed into Kibana. Let me see if we could find out something here. Okay, is there anything that? No, nothing. Okay, let us keep it that way. I think we'll see as the time come by how this will work. I have not looked into the code of the Python, so I'm just using it to show another agent perspective as well. Yeah. So then what else? What is the next command? So just run this app. So now that remember that we have already started Java app. Now we are starting the Python app as well. That's it. The app is up and running. We'll go to the third one. You see that Python 3 is running here, and then the Java is running here. Then now we'll go to so if you accidentally kill any of this terminal, don't worry. You can simply come back and you can restart the entire process. Don't worry about it. Even if you restart the system, don't worry about it. Like I meant to say, restarting here, you can restart the machine. But let me know if you have any problems. Happy to help actually. Okay, so now that I have this thing, I will go and I'll go a bit fast because I think it's a bit difficult. So npm install. It's trying to install also. In the interest of time, I'll do npm install. So install all the dependencies. So it'll take a while to install this app. Okay, it's fast. Npm start. I'm starting the server. Server is up, and then once this is done, we'll start the client, and then we'll see the UI. Any questions till now? That Elasticsearch. I mean, I'm reading DBS search. So does Elasticsearch provide inbuilt indexing to data? Yeah, I think. I mean, it's all API. It's not like a rigid box. You can do anything with it. We also have a like solution to index data of different types and formats. Like we can talk about that. Great. So I have npm start here, and it'll start the server. So remember that it is starting on this IP and not this IP. I mean to say like the 8081 port. Quickly go back, copy this public IP from the like the previous ID, and then then do what do you call 8081. Hopefully it starts. Now you should see a Spring Boot app, Spec Clinic app, which has multiple things running over here. And then you have find owners. This is the bar that I was talking about. Say, John, do something. Veterinarians, error that is there that we generate purposefully, and all of this. You can add an owner, do all of that, etc., etc. Okay, you can replicate errors and stuff like that. Now that all of this is running, I have done the same thing. You can play with the application. I'll give some time for you to do it. Feel free to try it, all of that. Once we complete this thing, we'll go to the APM UI and look at things. Any questions until then? If you don't have any specific questions, yeah, let me know if you have any specific questions or anything that you are specifically looking at. Are you feeling it comfortable? Are you feeling it easy to do all of this online? I believe that you should be. I made it so self-explanatory. But if you have any specific questions, like say, or things that are not working out for you, happy to help there as well. Okay, so let me quickly go and get started. So don't think like there's something wrong with the dependency or stuff like that. So let us quickly go to the Kibana and see whether there's data here. So I check data here, but it's not needed that you need to check the data specifically in this place. There is an APM app given here, using which you can do all of this pretty easily. So let me zoom out a bit so that it looks nicer. I'll also make it full screen. Great. So you see that in the last 24 hours it is there. So let us see last 15 minutes. What is there? Okay, this has come just now. So let us see. Let me show you that it is not there in the visible time. So let me show you date. Relative absolute. Say that today from like morning. Okay, sorry, it's the wrong side. Absolute morning to till 10 o'clock or 10:30. We weren't starting this environment, right? If you see nothing, right? But if you see the last 15 minutes, and you see the data that is coming in. Now there are three ways to look at it. I don't know why still the Python one isn't coming. Maybe there is some problem there. We'll see if we can fix it later. Or maybe there is something wrong. I need to go and look at it. But let me go and quickly start this UI thing. So in the APM, there are a bunch of things that you can do, right? One is to simply improve your productivity with your application. In the traditional world, whenever you encounter an issue in your production environment, you will go and ask your support or the person who is maintaining that environment to get logs. Probably use something like Elasticsearch to see the logs, and you find out, you go around, try to reproduce the issue in-house, and then give out a fix. The fix goes to the staging, user testing, and then it gets released, and then it gets fixed, might or might not, and all of this there. But the time to do all of this has been reduced, right? And you also get such sort of errors that you can't reproduce in-house. So how do you solve this problem specifically? How do you track issues like, how is my user seeing this page, or is he getting better experience, is he not getting better experience? So how all of that can be done? So what you could do is, using APM, the tracing methodologies, you can trace your application and collect all the issues, errors, and all of that. You could also see how, if it's a microservice based application, you could see how it is being placed. I have not configured anything specific to do this, but this comes out of this. This is like a map wherein it will show you where the application is talking to what and all. I have not done more. This is a pretty new feature, so you could go and look at that as well. But then there are errors. Of course, we did something and then the errors come up here. And then there are transactions. So the more that you play with this app, the data is live. The data is live, and the more you play with this app, the more it shows here. And then you could also figure out what are the problems, how much time it took take, and all of that, actually time spent this app within the state range, etc., etc. So it's not showing because there is not much of data actually. So if I put last 24 hours, maybe it will show something. Yeah, see, it showed nothing. So before, because I put it like, last 10 minutes or 5 minutes of show, so it will show you some more graphs. So if you have more data, it will show you. So if I'll show you our demo cluster, demo.elastic.co, wherein there is a lot of data on that, which is quite open for you, all of you, right? So these are the different pages, and then each page opens up to something. And if you have deployed this in Kubernetes kind of a thing, you can go and look at that as well. But our focus here is to learn more about the Java application and Java agent as well, right? So I'll quickly go to that part as well. So any questions till now? This is the APM UI. This is what you will work on. And if there is an error, it automatically handles the error. If you want the error to be captured automatically, there is a way that you can do it. If you want only some code to be ingested or indexed or traced, like say one method that you want to index, that what you want to trace, you can do that. You can generate specific traits for that as well, traces for that as well. Let me go and see what Spring Pet Clinic is doing. You could also collect JVM metrics. So say that there is only one JVM, that's one running. And then if there are multiple pods and a lot of stuff, you can go and look at the heap memory, non-heap memory, thread count, and at any point of time period. And also, I didn't define the dev staging environments as well. You can do that and monitor this app as well. That way you can do that. Let me collapse this one. Someone was asking what is a secret token. The secret token is available here in the APM, and the token is copied here. You can copy here. This is the token that you need to copy. Quickly getting back to not this one. So you have this, and all of this has a search bar. We'll go and look at the end, that how the search really help here as well, so that we can do. And we didn't take a look at the node one. So sometimes you can collect metrics about the system usage if you have specific stuff that is running in the node server as well. Errors, transactions that are there, and look at what the APIs are called from the client and how they are responding and how many transactions and what is the impact of loading onto the page, etc. You can do it that way. One thing I didn't cover very well is like the errors part. Let me go and show you some errors here. Say error, and of course there's nothing much happening here because maybe we didn't generate enough errors here. So maybe in a different service. Yes. It brings out the trace. It brings out also the particular error for that individual. Say suppose say the null pointer exception. It'll show you what is wrong with that and what is the code, what is the trace. You will be able to see everything, and what is the HTTPS code. And then you'll also be able to see the log correlated to it in the this thing. I clicked on it, and you will see the particular trace directly there. That is much easier. Let me go back and let us see something else as well. Great. Now this is the UI part actually. So there are a bunch of things that are there here, like spans, transactions, errors. We spoke about errors a bit, but we didn't speak about transactions. So Elastic does this distributed tracing. Like you have multiple microservices, and then you will be able to kind of like you will be able to run all of this tracing across this distributed services and also understands, because like in some cases a Python app is maintained by a different team, and then a different sort of app is maintained by a different team, and then like if they are exchanging data, how the in the microservice world all of this happening. So that is something that we are going to look at here. Let me quickly go back and show you one specific trace. I think the React one comes up pretty good. See that you have this the database query traced as well, and the amount of time that you are spending on this query also is mentioned here, and what thing is taking more time for you to run, and the span details, and how it is offloaded to different things. So Node is talking to the Java app, like you have seen in the architecture diagram. So this API which is there in the Java app, like the API owners, is being called here. So let me go back to the services and also show you from the React point of view, from the complete front end point of view. So find owners page, and then you see that there are three microservices. One is a React one, wherein end to end, right, the user spends the time on the browser, so that's why it is taking 440 milliseconds. What you need to worry about the time period that is more than 1 millisecond, which is like quite a bit of time. You need to see in the swim lane, this lane, you need to go towards the end and see what is there, what's happening there, why it is taking more time, which particular thing got a lot of time. So you need to look at those things. The page render and all of this can also be reduced. You can use the new CSS and minifying techniques to minify the thing and make sure that the trace and sample is more faster. And then you could also you could share this trace to people if you want to do it. And more importantly, on all of this, you could always do what do you call alerting on top of it, and send alerts when things are going bad, send different stuff. So don't worry about I get to know or not. So it will definitely happen. Now that's about the spans, transactions, and errors. If you want to take a deep learn and more understand more, you can do that. So this is like a trace, and then if I go and click on it, so it shows me. So this is the complete service, and then you have a transaction, and then you have multiple spans. Like say this is one span which talks about a specific code, and it shows what are the things that has gone into this. You can also log individual parameters into this as well, so you can do that as well. Now that we have explored a bit of this, I don't want to waste more time, and maybe if you are okay, I'll go ahead and like venture to the next one. Let me quickly go to the next uh, lab, wherein we will deep dive into the Java agent. So I hope you are all at least like with me. Like it is not fast. So I see only one person doing the lab, probably active. 17 people have joined. So I'm thinking that I'll do it like a demo, and you can probably do it later as well. So you can do that as well. Okay, let me go and increase the font here as well so that you can see. So along with the other APM agents, we have several APM agents, like say APM agents for each language except PHP. We have APM agents for everything. So I don't think Rust we have. That is one another thing. But then we have for everything. So Java agent is one that is been there for quite some time, and the APM project is also well established, and like quite a few people already contribute to the APM project. It's a completely Apache 2.0 project. So if you go to github.com/elastic/APM, there's contribution directives, and there is team for each agent, and then like you can go and see what they do, what are the releases, what are the latest release, contributors, commits, demos, everything. You can do look at that. All of the code is open. So you can go and look at that actually. So in the current thing, I think we are using latest agent. We are using a bunch of ways to look at this data. So let me quickly go to the APM agent and show you not just the supported technologies, but also how we do this data collection and how it can be done. uh, so there are three ways. One is an experimental way to support, but there are three basic ways to look at this. One is using a manual setup with Java agent flag, which I'll show you in some time. Like say, Java hyphen jar, and you give hyphen D Java agent flag, and you can inject this agent. It will start tracing from the perspective of like the JVM and collect all the metrics. Another is a APM agent attached standalone jar setup, which is an experimental, which you can also go and look at. The thing that I like in the third method is pretty easy, and you just need to add in the pom.xml and then do some simple thing, which we will do in the last one. Say like add this dependency and add this particular line in your main application. That's it. It gets attached, and you only need to like add in the resources file, you need to add your server URL and stuff like that, and then it will be all ready, and it'll all be there. So all of this is there on Maven Central. You can go and get these libraries, build this by yourself as well. Code is also there. So that is how this entire thing happens. But there are a bunch of Java versions, JVMs, application servlet containers, data stores that we support, right? It's very exhaustive. I'm not going to go through all of that, but all of this is there. So we keep this maintenance, we keep maintaining this thing. So if you have any questions on the supporting thing or working with a specific thing, you can go and see the setup guides for each one of that. Like almost all the databases support JDBC driver, so you have JDBC thing to work. You have MongoDB if you are really looking at tracing the things from MongoDB. You have several HTTP clients to trace your network related stats much better. Okay, HTTP supported. And then you have JAX RS kind of a framework that is supported. You have Kafka supported, through which you'll be able to do like distributed tracing as well, up more than one sort of some version. Yeah, more and more stuff like logging, obviously logging frameworks. So I want to highlight one specific stuff with this agent thing. So while you see all of this in the database, in the transactions and etc., so the data in this particular place is structured in a specific format by default, which we call it as ECS, Elastic Common Schema. So what happens is, while we are sending this data, the data is automatically structured in a specific way, and then you can correlate it with other data. Like say you have logs, you have metrics, and you have APM traces. Now you know that user has given this particular input to the the API, and then the user, like at that point of time, imagine that there is a heap related issue, or imagine that there is GC running, or imagine that there is something wrong with the CPU from the hardware point of view. And then you have this event logging happening everywhere in a structured format, and later point of time you can correlate logs, you can put metrics, and you can put APM traces. So all of this in one single point of time. This is not that UI, but I just want to show that these fields are automatically run. See, all the IPs are marked as IP, and all different error types are marked as types, host IPs, etc., etc. All of this is like automatically marked in a different format. So this format is called ECS. So we have a standard. So if you go to the ECS, it is called Elastic Common Schema. And then there is a ECS logging library for Java, which supports all of this, like frameworks, etc. So in the logging, you don't need to really look for configuring anything special. You can use ECS logging appender, and then you can get logs in a specific format very easily. So there are some specific things, and you can do correlation with your stuff as well. So this is another thing. Again, this takes another 10-20 minutes. I'll cover someday. I'll only do a session on ECS as well. So that's it. So the supported technologies are more, and if you want anything to be done, there's a survey form included here. You can click and send us some survey. Now let us quickly go back and stop this. Let us keep the front end running and stop this particular like the Java app, and then let me quickly do this particular thing. So now we will change the branch and do more things for the Java thing. Let me go back to git checkout Java. We have only one more hour, so let me kind of quickly complete this lab. We took quite a bit of time to do this. And then so what we are doing here is like trying to do more of instrumentation around a specific class and stuff like that. So you can go through this particular thing, or you can also listen to what I say, and also like this guide is anyway online, so you can also go back and look at it. So for some people, what happens is they want to only look at uh, some specific method. They don't want to go and look at everything. So what happens is you can simply add this capture span annotation, and using that you can trace all the data or the request coming in for that particular thing. So for the say like get owners method, like say API/owners. So you have this particular return new entity response, all of this automatically captured. So that is quite easy. And then you also have this particular what do you call, let me show you that. So you can also log specific labels. Say you want to log the owner ID, you want to log the last name, first name, specific stuff in like a span. In the span, you can click and look at that. See, whatever you give in the form, it will automatically come. You don't need to log it. You can also put it as part of a trace so that you can have that context as well. And then you can also capture so suppose there's a zip code validator util class that is there, and then you can simply say capture this exception. Whenever this happens, you can do that. It automatically captures all the exceptions for the supported languages and codes. But if you want to do more, you can do that as well. So that is what we are gonna do here. We're just quickly gonna add some arguments and like do some stuff. I switched the branch, so the branch has all the details already. I'm just trying to be like more specific here and just explain to you all of that. Now when we do mvm like the file and doing stuff here, now I said that we can do the Java agent. We are injecting the agent through this particular thing. So I have the agents downloaded already here. If you see here, I have the agents here. The agent is already available. I have this agent downloaded through the Maven itself while we are doing this stuff. So what we are doing is like using the Java agent flag. We are injecting this application and doing all of that, and we are telling what is the packages, what is the service name that should be displayed on Kibana. Of course, there's already a service name with Spring Pet Clinic, and we stopped the app. So imagine now we stopped the app. It's been quite some time. So the data should not flow to the Spring Pet Clinic thing. You should only see the data from the other two apps. Let me quickly load that meanwhile. Okay. Sorry for the internet. I might have a blurry internet today. So you have this APM server URL, which is already there in the environment, and then you have verify certificates to be false for some specific endpoints that you are looking at, and then there are a bunch of args. So that's, you can copy this, and what I'll do show here is like vn, or we can add here as well because it's already there on the thing. Let me close this. So in the end, okay, so you see that same command, right? So don't do anything here. No, don't see the Java agent here. So don't do anything, change anything like a single line. Just copy entire stuff just to ensure that things are proper, and then go back to the editor and copy paste this. There are a bunch of new things that have automatically that VS Code is highlighting. It's already, I think it should be saved. If it's not, let us save this. Save. It's not getting saved. I don't know. Okay, so this will be saved. If not, we'll do a Vim on this. Let me see if it is saved or not. Okay, it is not. Maybe some problem with the internet. Let me refresh this. I don't do it with Vim just for the reason because you never know that maybe there is some extra space or there is a slash that I miss. So that's the reason I didn't do it. Meanwhile, any questions? Yeah, actually, so there is a question from Anusha saying that, I'll put the question on the screen. So like we have seen instances where IT health check diagnosis app has been built on Elastic Stack and Logstash and Kibana. Can we say APM is an out of box solution for such monitoring purpose? So this is more of a tracing solution. So if you are going to the logs UI, which I have here, say this particular thing, logs, metrics, APM, and uptime. All these four are observability solutions. These are out of the box apps to do all of this monitoring for you, free, open, do whatever you want, and the data and everything is open. So there's little much you need to do about building, plugin building and all. I would not recommend you to do that. So don't do that plugin building on top of it. It's pretty easy. Great. I'll quickly head over here and see in the last 15 minutes that we stopped the app, there shouldn't be anything from Java specifically, right? Let me go and look back at the last 5 minutes, 2 minutes maybe. Yeah, nothing because we stopped the app. Now let me see if I could update this one and automatically save. I don't know why it's not saving. Okay, it doesn't save, doesn't matter. So let me go into a Vim here. VNW. Sorry. It's a bit difficult. Like you need to go over all of that. Actually, that's the reason. Spring Boot has a very good integration, and all of these things were already there. So you just need to, if you are looking at the stuff, you just need to look at one of this Spring Boot integration. Okay, let me do this. Okay, now that I have deleted, and I'll copy this thing once again. Copy. Then where is this one? Oh, I'm sorry. Here, just paste. Okay, it has come up. For the change and some other reason, let me see if I could do this thing. I am not sure. I have not done previously. Let me see if we can change the name and of the service so that it will reflect there, and we will start the app now. Okay. It should relatively start a bit faster than the previous one. What is this? Okay. Refresh. Nothing has been found till now. So once the app has started, let us go to the same thing. Let us click on Spring thing. Got it opened. Find owners, veterinarians, errors. Maybe find owners. We'll add a owner and see. Yeah, that's my address and my phone number. See the state and city. It's not there. Then let us see if the data comes back. Yeah, you've seen that the guys come back. So you can also again do the same stuff, errors. The idea here is to capture a specific transaction that we are looking for, right? The find owners. So if you see here, get owners or add owner, we tried. So the convention is the class name and the method name. That's how the transaction gets shown up. So now if you see that the get all owners method, we have a specific metadata that we want to capture. You can see all of that by adding more and more code. So that's about how do you match a specific trace and doing a lot of these stuff. Again, if you have any questions, happy to answer. If you have any specific things to be like you want to know anything, please ask any questions. I will help you get things more done. Then we'll quickly jump on to the next session. So I think we have covered quite a bit of ground here. I showed you overview of again everything here. Now of course, like it's not simple to learn everything in 2 hours, but then what we'll do is like we'll quickly jump out in the next session and see how you can do it on the Kubernetes part. I kept the Kubernetes part of the later because, you know, once you understand what the ecosystem and things that you can do with this entire thing, you could obviously do something like deploying this in a Kubernetes app and do stuff. I realized that I committed a small mistake here in this lab. I'll try to explain when I'm at the end. So if you know, you can tell quite well as well. You can tell it easily. So what we are going to do here is like take another project, which is a simple project, Spring Boot security getting started app, and then we will run it. We'll bootstrap with the agent. We'll deploy it in the Kubernetes, and we'll start seeing the traces, errors, all of that actually. So why do I do it over and over in different formats? Like you can do it in every way. That's why I'm just trying to demo it to you that way, much easier. So let me quickly get back here, and now that we have done with this app, I can simply click close, because the other app is already running. I mean, the other app might will run on the same port actually. So let me quickly get back to this thing. Okay, I'm going to. So there is only, as you see, that there is only one thing. So let me go and quickly do this. Let me not copy. Let's see. Okay, so I have this. I have got this one. It's just like any other Spring Boot app. And then you have this one. I don't have any code checked in, etc. Like you can see on the source main, and you can go into this. Let me simply show you Spring Boot :run. Okay, let me make it full screen. So application has been started. Now we can quickly go here and see localhost 8080. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying to do it on localhost, but it should be on the public IP of here. Here, localhost. No, something wrong. Yes. So this thing is running here. I have some username, password. Invalid username, password, user. Password. I have a password setup as well, so that's why it is showing. And done. Log out. Thank you. What we did. So then I have. So you will see whenever I do all of this, you will see some logs and stuff generated here, like failed to log in user, you get with an invalid password. So I'm also logging a custom exception. Say that if you log in with something like, you know, try to log in with admin, try to mimic admin and do stuff. I'm trying to generate an exception here. So all of this coming out of the box very easily. I'll quickly close this app. The idea is to containerize this app and put it in deployment, put it in Kubernetes environment. Now that for that we need to have Kubernetes. So what I'll do is like I'll quickly go and install Kubernetes, the Minikube cluster. Of course it might take a bit of time, but I think I don't have any other option to run all of this. I just want to update the current this thing. So all of this documentation is already there. So now the mistake that I have done in this session, or the thing is, I have a specific cloud cluster that I want to build this container, and then I see the data. I want to see the data in my cluster. So that's all right. You have containers, Java apps deployed in pods, and then like it ships back data, the tracing data, log data, metric data, everything. So So I have all of this configured here, but the major issue is creating a container. So what I did is like I have created the container in a cloud registry that I have. If you have a Docker registry, Docker Hub is a very popular Docker registry, Azure Container Registry for Azure, Google Container Registry for Google Container Registry. So you just need to, like, you can simply click on that, and then this is the command to do that. I'll also talk about zip in a minute. So, and then like push this container there, and then set this, this is a container that I want to deploy. Now this container will have my own cluster credentials, cluster credentials, which are very tuned to my stuff, right? It will send data to my cluster, it will not send data to your cluster. So what you need to do is figure out, using the jib, you need to like do a Docker build. So rather than doing build, do a Docker B capital build, and then push it to your Docker daemon, and then use that as an image. Like, you don't need to use this image. You just need to write the name here, and then you need to use that as an image to set into the Kubernetes. So what is zip? Like, why am I talking about zip and all of that stuff? So let me quickly show you zip. What is zip about? Zip is like a open source project from Google, and it helps you to containerize your Java apps from the Maven. It's like a plugin very easily. So I really liked it. I kind of hate a bit of writing Docker files. I'm not very convenient writing a lot of files. So what zip does to you is like makes it very easy for Java container to build your Java containers. And there is a ton of documentation. There's a Maven plugin, Gradle plugin. There are a bunch of things that you can definitely do, like FAQs. There is examples. It's pretty easy. There is nothing that you need to worry about. I'll quickly show you the quick start for Maven. So what I have just picked up the command from here. So just add it in your you can add CI/CD thing as well. See that there are different registries: Docker Hub registry, Azure registry. So if you want to run this like a the plugin and target, like you can do men compile zip Docker build. It will build to the Docker daemon, the Docker D that is running in your laptop, the thing. So otherwise, if you wanted to run like a tarball, or if you want to run like a different stuff, you can do that. You can also mention different images, Java images, like say Alpine Linux, distroless Java, like different CentOS. You can mention anything just from the command line, and you can do it. You can also use tools like Scaffold if you want to further automate it much better. Scaffold is another open source project from Google. So okay, so that now that I have installed the updates, let me quickly go back. Just follow this as well, because follow this from this command line itself, because the problem here I see is Kubernetes is a bit very tricky, and a lot many times a small difference will make it really difficult for you to deploy apps on the thing. So I'm just putting kubectl, then I have moving kubectl to a different location, the user bin, so that it is executable. Then I have the Minikube, which also I'll make it movable, right? So let me do this. Move Minikube to a local bin so that it is executable. Then I have Minikube version just to check whether things are proper or not. So for Minikube to work in specific environment, you need to install a specific library, just like a contract. It's like some sort of a networking library, and then just installing that. So if you have a traditional GKE or like a Kubernetes server OpenShift, we support all of that. So there is nothing like Kubernetes and Tide. In fact, we have a very tight integration to a lot of Kubernetes ecosystem projects like Jaeger, Prometheus. So you could collect metrics from all of that actually. So mini status. Oh, sorry, I messed it up. Okay, so this is not needed, so it's not still completed. So it takes a while to complete. So what we're gonna do here is to like compile add one line each in this particular in the project. Currently in the branch that I have, I don't have. So what I'll do is like I have another branch like APM in the same project, and then I'll switch out to that branch which automatically brings me that this thing, and then I'll push the code. So let me do that. So now that Minikube is there, I have everything running. A bit of kubectl stuff to warm up, like cluster info, pods, deployments. I don't know how many of you are very well versed with Kubernetes and or like do Kubernetes stuff for daily. I do a lot, and don't think that I'm a pro at it. I still don't know a lot of things related to Kubernetes. It's like a massive ocean, and there are a bunch of projects which does very interesting stuff. So now at this point I could go do a vim and get into a specific application folder and write that line, etc. Or else I could simply git checkout APM, and then it moved to a different branch, and I'll see git status. I should see that the working tree is not clean. Yeah, I have built it, right, so that's why it's not clean. So great. So what it adds is like two files from the previous one. So you'll also see I didn't start any application, so you can also see that this is a different one. You can also see that in the last 2 minutes, because we stopped, this should not show. You should see something like Spring Boot secure, because we are starting a different altogether different app. So let me show you the credentials and stuff where it was written, and then we can go ahead and do stuff. So it is in the src. I have changed two files. It is in the src, the main and the Java part actually. It is not coming. Okay, main Java and Spring Boot com example Spring Boot. Okay, then ls will give you application VM app. Yes, so you see that I have added this line and this line. Okay, nothing more. I did something wrong. Now I have one more thing here to show. Okay, ls easy to edit in an editor than this particular thing, but yeah. So cd resources, yes, then ls. Then what happens here is like I have one more thing called Elastic APM properties. So if I see this thing, you will see that server URLs are not there, secret URLs are not there. So if I start the app, it still will not work. So this is what I'm trying when I'm making a container. So this is what I really look forward for. Like these are the places where I update and make my container, right? So these are the configuration files. There are many ways to do it in Kubernetes, many ways to inject things, send things out of the container, etc. Don't worry about it. So this is one single method that I chose easy. Probably I mean to say, like, this is one method that we support in the Java agent space. There are many ways that you can do as well. So you can also go and look at other ways, but this is a standard way when you're using a Spring Boot app and then like trying to get stuff. Let me go and look at copy here. Let's quickly go ahead. Right. Now that I have this one, I'll simply build this container. This is where the problem that I said will come here, because I don't have the credentials to run this GCR, etc. So what I did is like I have come up with I have this thing already running in the. I'll bring up that window to you so that you see that automatically. So I have the same project running on my laptop. So what I do is I build this container automatically. So I'll update the credentials here, pretty easy. So I'll just go to the same stuff. I just showed you how you can do it on the Linux box. I'll just do here. Sources, VM, Elastic. So I have a different Spring Boot secure and credentials. I'll just simply need to remove that and add my own new secret token. I hope you are with me, and if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer. Uh, Let me know. Hi. Okay. Okay. So Spring Boot URL, come back again. So the problem is, like, I don't have the credentials running on my thing to push that to a Docker registry. I could also do a Docker build, but I don't want to complicate the process. I want to push it to some place so that you can also deploy it on your own clusters. I'll make it open so that the container is available for each one of you. So I found this out whenever I'm trying to execute yesterday to do this. I have a zip already in place. So I'll tell you how we can do this. ls will show you that. So still one more. So I have this menw, this thing here. I will paste this. The app name is hello java. I can change it, but okay, let me keep it hello java itself. But let me make it. So I already have a container registry thing running here. So I have a container registry. Registry comes up. Oh, it will ask me to take to the different console. Should take me. Meanwhile, any questions? This question. These agents, how much of the overhead we are adding to the actual application? Are there any docs published talking about this Elastic metrics? 100%. We have a. I'll show you that. I have a document which shows that which shows this particular thing, like how much of this overhead that is being added to this particular thing. This is not the account that I'm looking for. So this account I'm looking for. So I also have one more question. So this is a question from Nagmohan. Thank you for asking. I'll show you more details as the time passes, or else I'll ping it on the chat at the end. Then there's one more question from Anusha. Say, like, do we have options like anomaly detection? Obviously, yes. It is there. I'm just not talking about that because it's already a lot of overload. So I'm just not talking about that at this point of time. Now that I have this, let me select the project. Yes, I have the project here. Then I have the container registry, which has images which are public. So you can also pull from my GCR, from my container registry. So I have a hello Java app which I did yesterday. So there are two versions to it. Now we're gonna two versions to it. Now we're gonna do the third version. So let me come back here. That's why the v3 tag here. I'll do a v3 version of it. I hope you're able to see this particular thing. If not, I'll make it a bit bigger. Okay, that brought us a lot of problems. Let me see. Okay, Control C. Okay, so now here, if you see, I have this specific thing. I will need to build to gcr.io, gcr.io/dev-dish. Then I'm going to like push this one. Okay, that's great. What it is saying, no such file or directory. Let me see if I could do something here. Maybe there's a mismatch in the typing. Okay. Okay. Or else I built it yesterday night, so I'll try to see if I could do the same thing. Okay, build this one yesterday, so I think it should work. If it's not, let us see if we find something else. Okay, there is a command. The command is not well written. Probably that's the reason. So what it does is, like, it automatically builds if it didn't build, and like try to push this stuff again with a new configuration. It's as simple as it. And I'll refresh the GCR to see how things are there. Great, it's done. So if you see here, now that I have two, where is the refresh? Okay, refresh. I should be seeing the third one. Okay, it has the same this thing, but it's a different tag. Just to be safe, let me delete this and try to do it with v1 so that we are not overriding on anything. Although it's just said that it uploaded just now, but I don't want to take any risk. I just want to be like really sure. Okay, there's no matching results. Let me push it again. I put 3. I can also stop. So you can manage these process very well with the zip. It's pretty easy. Now, meanwhile, while this gets completed, I'll show you some more features in the APM ecosystem or the demo.elastic.co. So demo.elastic.co is an open platform for anybody to go and look at what is there, what is new in Elastic, how things are there, etc. So you obviously have more and more feature demos here. So if you have any question, doubt, you always come to the displays and like go and get things done. Of course, like takes some time, depends on the internet, depends on the server and stuff that like that. So just let it load. Any more questions? Anything that you're looking to ask? Yeah, it's running a sample app. So it has all of this has an integration with the ML feature of this particular place. So if you see here, if you see that there's a machine learning tab wherein we run a bunch of jobs to do anomaly detection on the time series data of application tracing to find out see whether there is proper what do you call, there are proper things that are happening in your application. There is no like security attacks or stuff like that. There are multiple ways that you can do it. It is useful for the developers, product owners, practitioners in several other ways. So while this gets loaded, I think my internet has gone really bad. So let me see if I could show. Great. So I have a v1 app. Now let me come back. I'm just using the Docker to push it from my thing, and then kind of like you know, back here. Okay, this doesn't matter actually now. I just need to like kubectl. So let me show you that I don't have any deployments. Kubectl get pods. It should come in the default namespace. Get deployments. Right, there's nothing. Now that I deploy, the hello Java should run, right? And you also see that it is picking up from this particular thing. So deployments are created. So let me go and run this thing. One deployment that is running. It's not up yet for the obvious reasons, because it's just container creating. Now all of this is running in your own lab environment actually. So you could also do it in your own, like your own laptop. I will do that in the next coming days. I'll update the guide to reflect much more better stuff. Now let me check if this is running. Yeah, it's running. Now that you know that the pod is running, but it's not exposed to the public internet. So what we need to do is like expose this to the public internet and make sure that the data is flowing. I have executed these comments. Let me expose it to the public internet and see whether things are running. Exposed. Because it's Minikube, it's using node port, but otherwise you can also use a load balancer to put this before. So it's also on running on port 8080. It will show me a specific port now when I do this. Okay. PC. Now that you have this thing, and I also have this 30,000 port. Why 30,000? Why not anything else? Because that that Minikube has this weird like kind of like some sort of a like 30 to 32,000 range ports only available. So I'm just copying this one, paste. Sorry, let me get the copy. So now the app is up and running, and then you also have this thing coming up. Now the question is whether it will show up in the APM or not. The last 2 minutes, is there anything that has shown up? Nothing as of now. It should come up in a minute. Meanwhile, we'll try to do our regular stuff, like try to play up with this one. So if you enable that ECS logging, you will also see logs like here. I'll click that and we'll come back to it later. Let me see. I am not comfortable with. Okay. I don't know why it's not showing. So maybe there is something wrong with the endpoint or something that I have done. But what happens is like you will be able to see this admin and all of this things that we are talking previously. So the traces will be there, and you could start tracing this particular thing from the point of this entire application space. Let me see if there is anything wrong with this. I hope I have deployed the right one. Okay, create deployment, hello Java v1, hello Java, and I have pushed the right one, hello Java. Then also have the right set of credentials here, I believe so. So I don't know. I don't know. I mean, like maybe a blip somewhere, something is wrong. Let me go back and see if it doesn't come. So we'll leave it. So ideally, like it should show you the Spring Boot secure. Yeah, so that is there, and then if it's not coming, we'll give it a try again. We'll try to deploy it with a different thing and see. Maybe it is not showing something different. Okay, I'm in this place, src main resources. This is the main thing. So ls, then BAM Elastic APM properties, whether I have the right one. com.example.spring boot. Let me see if this is there. Okay, that is right. And the URL for the Elasticsearch, is it right? Just want to cross check. Copy endpoint. Yeah, 9243 and 1105E. Okay. The URL for this thing is wrong. So that's why it's not building properly. So let me quickly change this. So this is a problem. There's a small hiccup and things go for crazy, and you'll not know after you doing all of that. And all of this process can be automated with scaffold kind of tools. Like you can simply give that in a thing, like you can simply do that and get things done. I'll want to cross check before things get clearer. Okay, 22, great. So let me clearly see that now this time. And great. Now that we are here, let me run this once again, but with the tag v2, so that it builds cloud. So how did I do this? It's like pretty easy. You just need to install gcloud SDK, and then you need to do gcloud auth, and it will simply init and do stuff like pretty easily. Let me see if I can. So sometimes if you don't change any code and the hash for the previous thing remains same and there's a configuration change, I think GCP doesn't really do anything. It adds another tag to the same thing with a different configuration change. But what if you do a code change, if you do more things, it will generate a different hash, and then everything file structure, everything gets changed, the file hash. So that is one another thing to look for. So what we will do now is like to go back to square one and delete this particular deployment kubectl, delete svc. So it is like turning out to be a Kubernetes application development, and delete deployment. If you delete the pod also gets deleted. Deployment Java deleted. Now you see kubectl, sorry, you can do all of this pods, SVC, deployments. Okay, there's nothing running. Okay, all clean. So now let me deploy the same thing with a different tag. I don't want to make a mistake. I just want to like simply use this. Create deployment, created. You have hello Java, but you don't have a service running. Let me expose that and see what comes up, and then we can see whether that works or not. So the thing here is like you could also get into this particular the directory and stuff and container logs, etc., and do things. I don't know why it's not exposing. kubectl. Did I press enter? I didn't press enter. So you could also go to the logs and see what the container logs are saying. This container that I'm building is a distroless container, doesn't have shell. So that means you can't go to the shell. So be sure that you want to include something like Alpine Linux or CentOS, or do you have the terminal itself. So the terminal itself is not there. So very simple, straightforward stuff from things actually. Let me go and clear off this thing and show you kubectl port deployments things. Now you have this thing running on 32183, which is quite different from the previous port. And you got this done. And let me try to do the same. See if we got anything here. So not yet. Okay. Let me see if we can do admin. Okay. Yes, taken. Just generating the data. You can also generate the data. It's public and open. So just try to do whatever you want. So I think it is not working for some reason. So let us see if we can do something else. We have reached to the end of the two labs. It's nearly 12. We have spent 2 hours. I know that it's quite difficult. I know that there are quite a few people when we are joining this session. Now there are less people. There are a bunch of things that you can do with the data that is there in this APM system. It's not just the APM part. You can also do the search part. Say, for example, if I have this 24 hours thing, and then if I want to find out from what app that from what IP, that if you know IP, or if you want a specific user agent, say like Chrome, IE, etc., the user is using. So you could do that. You could find out how many people are using your app from Chrome. I'm using only from Chrome. If you try give it a shot, you could find out how many people are using it from say like IE, how many people are using from different thing, and what is the time spent, transaction duration, and how things are looking for them for different browsers in a different thing. So yeah, I think, oh, thank you Nagmohan for saying I missed the tag. It seems great. Silly thing, so it's very interesting. Great. So that's why it's not showing. So let me delete and do that meanwhile. So you could do all of that search part as well. Because it is structured, you could also do a lot of these things. So so make sure that you find out that stuff. Delete hyphen all. Just trying to be like sure and be clear here that we can do things differently. Great. Now that we have deleted everything, let me see if I could do V2. Yeah, great. Thanks for the catch. And expose the deployment, I believe. Okay, and get pods and services. I have 31886. Okay, 31886. Okay, for one last time. Great. Let me see if it discounts. APM. Last 2 minutes. Not yet. If it should show up if it comes up. No problem. I think I'll try and see if I could post an update on what's happening here. I don't think that it's worthy to keep trying because I don't know what's wrong with it. I'm not really sure. Okay, I'm trying to agent Chrome or something. Anyway, so no issues. I think there's something wrong in the configuration or the way that I'm putting up things. So it's we are doing haphazard, but it works. It really works. Try to push the container, expose the deployment, and you will see all that this approach needs is like to connect. Another thing that I didn't do, which I could also do, is not to do Kubernetes way and directly push this app via the Springboard. Like say now that the app is there, I can simply say that okay, Spring Boot run, and it will show me whether it is connecting to the APM agent or not actually. So that way it is also possible. So see it did connect to the APM agent. It is showing something. Okay, the logs doesn't go. It did connect to the APM agent, and it's running on localhost 8080. Now I could simply see 8080. Unless there is something wrong with the entire thing here, it should ideally work. Okay, let us leave it. Maybe it's not. Great. So quickly coming back to the next thing. So you can also search on various things in the APM thing. You can search for the client IP that you are doing. You could go and search for your IP that is there and find out that, like, you know, whether you're getting requests from the browser, which area, which place. You can do all of that. You can also do geotagging. One thing that I didn't show you here is from which place that your app is coming from. So let me show you that. Say in the last 24 hours from my React. Oh, it came up just now. Fine. So this is what I want to show. I don't know whether it is coming from the Kubernetes or it's coming from the different port. See, I could figure out that. so great. So let me quickly show you this particular thing, wherein I have this particular, you know, find owners page. If I click on the owners page, it'll show me sometimes that like from where the user is accessing the website, and it'll show me all the individual, you know, the integrations and details related to that. Let me see if I could show you that web page. So it has a map embedded so that you could also go and look at. I think it's from the node part. So I didn't look at all the latest features. It is quite interesting sometimes to look at different stuff like this, which is quite new and unique. So yeah, some of this is not visible, but you can find it out. So one more thing that is there here is to, like, you can find out, you can do a ton of search, like say error code 404, 403, all of this can be done very easily. That's great. Now what can be done? Now what next? So yeah, so this is the end of the session. So what else you can do with this particular thing? When I say Kubernetes plus APM plus Elastic Observability, there are a ton of things that you can do. So now that we have deployed this app in the Kubernetes, now if imagine this in the real world situation, that I have the same sort of mentality and same sort of thing, same sort of thing, and how do I find out the logs? So you can also integrate logs to it. You can also integrate a ton of things, like see the logs, you can do all of that. You can go to a specific host, say in the Kubernetes world. I'm not doing that because it will take more time. Perhaps some other time I'll try to figure out and show it to you that. So you will see the various Kubernetes pods that are there, various things that are there. So it is quite easy to do that stuff as well. See, view by Kubernetes, and then you see the bunch of containers. You see the containers and you see the prod, APM traces, uptime. Let me open uptime for you to see. You can also see logs for this specific thing. If I have, say, Kubernetes group by namespace, and then I have a bunch of stuff here, apps and stuff like that, and this is packet beat, no, metric beat. And if I want to specifically watch at a specific one particular thing, I could go and do that as well. So Elastic Apps Tester, I could do that. So all of this is quite interesting, at least for me. Like I could go to the logs from here. See, I can go and see what do the logs look like, and then search on the logs without even SSHing to the specific, thing. Actually, it depends on the internet and various stuff, and the location of the region, etc., but you can do all of this pretty easily. Now that being said, like there are multiple monitors. See if there are any services running in that particular thing. You'll be able to see what is happening, and what are up, what are down, in last 15 minutes, last say 24, today, everything. Like you can do all of that with the uptime in the Kubernetes, the services which are Kubernetes, and pretty easy as well. So that's it. I think from my side, there are a bunch of links that are there. I don't want to drag it further. So please do this code lab. Let me know what you feel. And the environment is there for all the day. Let me know what you think. And so there are some of these blogs like observability, exploring eager process with this thing. There's free training that we have here. So if you are interested in doing different things or more things, like the training is free. So you could go and like look into each one of this. This also spins up a Strigo environment, by the way. You could go and look at these things. This is the APM document reference, agent reference specifically, like all the agents in the APM project, contributing to the APM project, and you can also look at the demo environment, etc. So that's it. We have done quite a bit of stuff. I look forward to do more of these, getting started sessions, and like more these things. I'm sorry for the not being able to show this particular point of time. I don't know how I can do it. I'll probably like update in the YouTube at the end how we can do it. And more importantly, and if you have like you can definitely reach out to me if you have any questions on this particular Twitter ID. This is my Twitter ID. Like you can DM me on that if you have any questions throughout the day. So yeah, that's it from my side. And thanks for the opportunity. Like Surajit, Satish, you're back on. If you are on the stream still, like you can speak.
Yeah, thanks very much, Arvind. I mean, it's like a great session, and it was very, very like, well, say, a pure practical session on a classroom. Thank you very much for that. And the demo and the use cases which you have given us, like, I mean, it was amazing. Thanks for that, Arvind. Thanks for your time and making sure like
Great.
you document things on a great
Thank
way.
you so much, Satish, Surajit.
I see a comment saying like,
And Satish,
thanks
I think
Arvind for
we
the
will
detailed.
yeah. So stay safe, stay at home if possible. If your work permits you to do that, learn more. It's a very good time to learn interesting stuff and all of these open source projects. Bunch of things that are going around everywhere. I wish you can learn more and do stuff very interestingly. And thanks, Doug, for the opportunity. And I believe that we can continue doing more specific sessions, which are not just Elastic, and we can also do more interesting things. Let me know what do you think about the session. What else you want to look at? We can curate and do much better. Okay, that's it from my side. And thanks everyone. And thanks Satish and Surajit and the Jug and EPAM team as well. Thank you. And please subscribe, and also like share the content to your community, to your people. Like it will also help us get more and more issues and bugs if there are any, and like find out things. Thank you, everyone.
Sure. Thank you.